right. I'm attorney Mark Nicholson. I represent Korey Alwood. Today is Thursday, November 13th, 2025. The call's number 48C as in Charlie 062503 CT 000042. And can you go ahead and state your name?
I'll start with me. This is Michael DiRienzo. I'm the attorney for Henry County Sheriff John Sproles in this cause matter.
Okay. Mr. Sproles, go ahead.
Yes, my name is John Mark Sproles, Henry County Sheriff.
All right. Come in. Thank you. And can you spell your name, Mr. Sproles?
Yes, sir. It's S as in Sam, P as in Paul, R-O-L-E-S. First name is J-O-H-N. Middle name is M-A-R-K.
And Michael, can you go ahead and spell yours too?
Sure. First name is M-I-C-H-A-E-L. Middle initials E. Last name is D-I, capital R-I-E-N-Z-O.
Thank you. Can you state your duties as Sheriff of Henry County?
To oversee the operations of the Henry County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you served as sheriff?
I have served since January 1st of 2023.
Have you received any training or guidance on communicating with the media or public regarding ongoing matters?
No specialized training that I can recall.
Are you familiar with Indiana's defamation or privacy laws?
I don't have any in-depth familiarity with them, no.
Before today's events, have you ever been accused of making public statements, defamatory public statements about another officer?
Not that I can recall.
Have you ever taken a deposition before?
I have.
And how many times?
I can't recall.
When were you first elected as the sheriff of Henry County?
I took office January 1st, 2023. I can't remember the date of the primary and general election exactly. Primary was in May and the general would have been in November of 2022.
And have you consistently been the sheriff since what you said, January 21st, 2023?
I have. Yes.
Have you held any other employment since being a sheriff of Henry County?
I have not.
And when does your term expire?
It expires December 31st, 2026 at the end of the day. So maybe it expires January 1 of 2027.
Do you plan to run for office?
I don't know if that's relevant. I plan to, though. Yes.
Have you done anything to prepare to run for office?
I'm going to object to the relevance of that. You can answer, John.
Yeah, I haven't, not that I can recall specifically.
Prior to you, oh, you said you don't recall doing anything?
Nothing specific that I can recall.
Prior to you becoming the sheriff, did you have any prior law enforcement?
I did.
What was that?
I was a full-time deputy with the Henry County Sheriff's Office.
And prior to that?
I had been a reserve deputy sheriff prior to being a full-time deputy sheriff, which was prior to me becoming the actual sheriff.
And where were you? You said a reserve?
I was reserve with Henry County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, and how long was that?
I was sworn in on my 21st birthday, and I can't recall the exact amount of time, a couple years approximately the first go around. Got back on the reserves approximately the first part of 2017 and was hired full time in March of 2019. So about four-ish to 5 years of reserve work, and then March 19th of 19 through first part of 2023 as full time, and then the sheriff after that.
What was the highest rank that you held before becoming the sheriff?
Just a patrolman.
And so you were full-time for about a couple of years before you became sheriff?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you attend the police academy?
I did.
And when was that?
I believe I went in January of 2020. That's when we started.
Right. And have you ever worked for law enforcement anywhere other than, I think, Henry County? It sounds like you just mentioned Henry County.
Yeah, I worked for a very short time for the town of Caddis.
And what do you know how long that was?
I believe it was less than a year. I went from there to the sheriff's office. So that, I think, started sometime in 2016 with Caddis, and then I think it was February of 17 that I went to the sheriff's office.
And was this a part-time?
Yeah,
Full-time?
yeah, it was just a reserve, no pay, just like the reserves at the sheriff's office was.
And you said that, so that was part-time?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And what's the highest level of education?
Just high school, 12th grade.
And have you been sued before?
I guess you could answer that question, couldn't you? I think you've got about 15 or 20 of them in so far.
So is that a yes?
That would be a yes, correct.
Okay. And let me back up a little bit. Are you on any medication that prevents you from telling the truth today?
I am not.
Okay. Are you suffering from any mental or physical disability that prevents you from telling the truth today?
I am not.
Are you on any prescribed medication that would prevent you from telling the truth today?
I am not.
Thank you. Are you aware of any specific written job description for the sheriff?
Written job description from what source, I guess?
Any source about your job description, or you just make it up as you go?
So Indiana statute has requirements for the duties to be performed by the sheriff of each county of Indiana.
Are you familiar with those?
I am.
And do you follow those?
To the best of my ability, I follow all applicable laws and requirements.
Does it mention anything in regards to talking to the media?
I don't recall.
Do you operate a Facebook page?
I do.
And how many Facebook pages do you operate? Just one?
I operate the official Henry County Sheriff's Office page and 2 other personal ones.
What are they called?
John Sproles, Henry County Sheriff, and John Sproles.
And you're responsible for posting what's on those 3 Facebook pages, correct?
I am, and I believe I have an old Facebook page. I haven't operated for years, but may still be active. Sproles Corporation.
And on one of those Facebook pages, you posted the town marshal scam scheme.
Yes, I did.
And Facebook removed that.
That is accurate. Facebook did remove that.
Do you know why?
I don't object to the relevance of the question. You can answer.
Because I think there was a false claim made by your friend Kristopher Bilbrey about it being wrongfully used, even though he asked everybody to share it as much as possible.
Okay, so your statement is that Kristopher Bilbrey made a false claim against you and Facebook took it down. Is that what you're saying?
Again, objection to the relevance of the question.
Yeah, so you asked me what I understood to why it came down, and that's what I understand of the reason to why it came down.
Okay. And you also said he's a friend of mine. What makes you say that?
Just seeing interactions between the 2 of you.
What interactions have you seen between me and Mr. Bilbrey?
It's not
I'm going to
relevant.
object to the relevancy of this question and ask.
Go ahead and answer, sir.
No, it's not relevant at all. So I don't need to answer something.
Sir, I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, and I'm telling
And
you
I would
that I'm not going.
appreciate if you answer. You've made a claim by saying that I am friends with Kristopher Bilbrey and you've seen us together. So please tell me where you've seen us together.
You recorded that, and I've never said that I seen you together. So I've just yeah. You
I'm
go
sorry,
back
you're
and listen
correct.
to your recording.
Okay, I apologize. I think you're correct. I
I
believe
am.
what
I
you
know
said
I'm
was
correct.
interactions.
I know I'm incorrect.
Okay. Well, tell me how you know we're friends then. Tell me that.
Again, objection to the relevancy of this question. You can answer, John.
Well, from the content that you post on social media that is directly in line with the content of Kristopher Bilbrey. And, so I've seen your post. You are he references you a lot. He references you as his friend and attorney. That's per him. And like I said, I've watched your content. I saw your content when for months you had up a picture of another officer thinking it was me. So that's how in tune you were to the situation.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Yes, sir. And the comments about me being racist and Chris Bilbrey, you guys make the same type of comments. I've read them.
Okay, so are you racist?
No, absolutely not.
Do you have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood?
Objection, relevance, inflammatory, and argumentative.
You go ahead and answer.
Do I have a problem with the repeat that question?
I said, do you have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood?
The Aryan Brotherhood, I don't have a problem with any group per se, as long as they're not committing crime. So do I have a problem with the Aryan Brotherhood if they're not doing wrong things? Not a problem at all.
All right.
Mark,
When did
your
you first hear?
videos, there it is.
I'm sorry.
Your video cut out for a second.
Oh, mine did?
Yeah, you're back up.
All right. When did you first hear the name Korey Alwood?
Mark, is Mr. Alwood joining us on the video?
He is, yeah, that's him right there. But he's not participating. He's not asking any questions or anything like that.
You need to identify him as a participant in the deposition, just like if we were in your office and he was sitting next to
Yep.
you.
Wow.
And yes, Korey Alwood is there. I don't know if you can see the little box spelled KOREYALWOOD. Yeah.
And can I ask him a preliminary question?
Who?
Mr. Alwood, I'd like to know if there's anybody else in the room or listening with him.
I don't even know if he even heard you. I don't know if you heard him. There's no one else in the room with him.
Okay. Proceed.
When did you first hear the name Korey Alwood?
I can't recall.
You stated that the Indiana State Police told you about Mr. Alwood. Who specifically provided you that information?
If I remember correctly, that would have been Chris Martin.
You know how to spell his name or her name?
It's a male. I believe it's KRIS. Common spelling on the Martin, MARTIN.
And is that from the Indiana State Police?
That's correct. He's a sergeant with the state police.
And what did he tell you about Mr. Alwood?
I can't recall all that he told me about Mr. Alwood.
Was this in person or email, phone?
It was in person.
What brought Mr. Alwood's name up?
Chris Martin brought Mr. Alwood's name up.
About what?
Chris Martin requested a meeting with me and came to my office and brought up Mr. Alwood. First time I'd ever heard That was the first time I'd ever heard of Korey Alwood.
And was this meeting to talk about Korey Alwood?
Obviously, yes.
Okay. So prior to you having this face-to-face meeting with him, how did he communicate with you to set up this meeting?
I can't recall that.
Did you receive any emails from Chris Martin?
Not that I recall, but I could have, but I'm not recalling them. I believe you've requested those.
We did, and we didn't get anything.
Yeah,
So did you look for them?
Probably, yes. When people make requests, we do look for them.
Okay.
So
What did you do?
I do not specifically do that.
What did you specifically do to find out if you had any communications in regards to your conversation with Chris Martin and yourself?
Yeah, so I would have given access to my my electronics, such as email, to our IT guy, and they would run the appropriate searches that were requested.
Okay. You said I would have. I want to know what you actually did.
That's what I did.
Okay. Can you provide documentation that you did that?
You can request that, and we can provide whatever as we have, but we'll be happy to provide whatever documentation that you lawfully request and is required of us.
We did request it and we didn't get anything.
Well, that would be because I probably didn't have any email communication with Chris Martin.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your communication trying to get this information that you just described.
I'm going to object to the extent that you're mischaracterizing the facts and the scope of your request.
Well, you said that the request was overbroad when I was asking for all this information. Now you're saying I didn't ask for it. So what I'm asking you now, Sheriff, is the communication that you're saying you had with your IT guy to get these documents. Can you provide that to your attorney so your attorney can provide it to us?
So we communicate very much in person, just like myself and the state police officer communicates very much in person. That very likely could have been a, hey, can you get this taken care of? So, whether all communication is not in electronic form, as you know.
Well, what format did you talk to your IT guy?
I can't recall.
And if the person is setting up a meeting with you, Chris, ISP Sergeant, how is he setting it up with you in person if he's meeting you in person? If you're saying that there's no communication, it was all in person, why is he setting up a meeting with you to meet in person if you've already met in person?
Well,
Object to the form of the question, but you can
as I would think you would understand, being an attorney, sometimes we meet, and especially Chris Martin, we meet on fatal car crashes because he would come many times to take care of those. So typically we don't shoot the breeze at fatal car crash investigations about some other matter. So he could have said, hey, I need to catch up with you on an item. When could we meet at your office while we're working a fatal car crash investigation? So that would answer why we didn't deal with Korey Alwood, of all people, possibly at a shooting scene or a fatal crash scene.
But you have no recollection of what it was when he wanted to set up this meeting with you?
I do not.
Okay. And in any of your discovery, did you ever mention Chris Martin?
I do not recall what I mentioned. I answered the discovery items to the best of my ability at the time, according to my recollection at the time.
All right. And did you take any notes from this meeting with Chris Martin?
I do not recall.
Did you look, Sheriff?
I do not recall.
You don't recall if you looked. Well, you understand that we sent discovery to your attorney,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, to request this information.
Correct.
Okay, and so do you think that it's proper for someone of your stature to say, I don't know if I look for this information or not?
Objection, argumentative. He answered your question and said he doesn't recall whether he looked for it.
I know. Well, that's not my question, sir. My question to him is, does he think that is an appropriate answer to say he doesn't recall
Yes.
whether he looked for this?
Yes, I do
Okay.
think it's an appropriate answer.
And why is that? When you're given discovery request, you don't even look for the stuff.
I didn't say I didn't
Objection.
look for it.
This construes the testimony.
Okay. Well, you don't have any documentation that you look for, right?
And what kind of documentation would I have that I look for something? Do I write a note to look for notes?
Well, you said that you would talk to your staff and have them do have them look for something. Wouldn't your staff sit up there and maybe tell you, hey, we did this, we did that, and we couldn't find anything?
Well, you missed a little key point of what I said. I said electronic stuff. So usually when I take notes, I don't take them electronically.
How do you take notes?
I would take notes, writing them down. That's how I would take them.
Okay, so, but you don't have any recollection of taking notes?
I do not.
And anything? Okay. The information, and do you recall the information that Mr. Martin told you?
I would recall some of it. I'm sure I wouldn't recall all of it. This meeting's been a while back, and obviously Korey Alwood is somebody I don't know and doesn't mean a whole lot in my life. So it's not a key moment in my life that I'm remembering every detail to when I first heard of Korey Alwood.
Okay, well, what details do you remember?
I remember that Chris stated something to the effect that ISP had been watching Korey Alwood. They've been listening to phone calls that he is making to Aryan Brotherhood friends. They've been seeing him put money on books to his Aryan Brotherhood friends in prison. And that pretty much summarizes what I remember of the meeting.
So, I want to get this. So you're saying that ISP Sergeant Chris Martin told you that they are essentially wiretapping his phone because they're listening in on his phone.
Did I say that?
To his Aaron brothers, right?
No. No, that's not what I said at all.
I thought you said they were listening
that your memory is so short. You asked me about taking medications. You're forgetting what was said 10 seconds previous. So I'm wondering if you're on the medications.
Sir, you can just answer the question and not try to insult people, okay? I haven't insulted you. I did not insult you. Now, did I?
Calling me racist is insulting, okay? Calling me racist is insulting.
Sir, I asked you if you were racist because you brought up that.
Yeah, because you called me racist publicly.
Sir, I'm asking you now.
Yeah.
During this deposition, just to answer the questions.
Okay.
Simple as that.
So to answer your question, you just asked me if Chris Martin said that they were wiretapping his phone. The answer to that question is no, he did not say that.
Okay. You said that they were listening in on his phone calls.
That is correct.
Okay. So if they're listening in on his phone calls, how are they listening in on his phone calls if they're not tapping his phone?
Argumentative, calls for speculation.
You're an attorney. You understand jail calls are recorded. My goodness.
So you're saying that they have recordings of all his calls to the jail?
Objection.
I'm not
calls for
saying that.
speculation.
That's not what I'm saying. I just simply repeated what I thought I remembered Chris Martin saying. So no, I'm not saying that.
So, okay. Are you saying that Chris Martin told you that they have recordings of Korey talking to people, Aryan Brotherhood? Did you say that or not?
No, I didn't say that they have recordings of it.
Okay. Did you say that they were listening in to him calling his Aryan Brotherhood friends?
I said something to that sort. Yes, something along that line. Not. I didn't say they had recordings of it. I didn't say they wiretapping his phone.
Okay. But you said they were listening in?
Something of that relevance. Yes.
Okay.
All jail calls are recorded. That's common knowledge.
Yes. And you also said that they had a record of him sending money to his Aryan Brotherhood friends in prison.
I don't know that I said they had a record of it, but they made the mention that somehow that that is an understanding that they have, that he is putting money on the books of Aryan Brotherhood members.
And does Chris Martin still work for the Indiana State Police?
Yes, he does.
Do you have his phone number?
I don't have
Not
it.
his personal phone number. I'm talking about like the state police post phone number.
I have it as easily as you have it. I don't have it available currently.
Okay. Did he share any documents with you in regards to what you're claiming he said?
About the phone calls?
Yes.
Not that I recall.
What about putting the money on the books?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Did you do anything to verify that information before repeating it or referencing it in public?
Objection. Facts not in evidence.
You may have answered, Sheriff, but your attorney was talking, so I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What did the attorney say? Michael, what did you say?
Oh, you can answer the question if you recall it.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Did you review any records in regards to Mr. Alwood's background?
I reviewed some records. I do not recall which records.
And why did you review these records?
Because to my knowledge, Mr. Alwood was attempting to gain police powers in Henry County, which is the county that I am the sheriff of. And I am tasked with being the sheriff of our county.
Okay. And did he try to become a police officer in your county?
Was my understanding that that attempt was being made.
Okay. I heard you said an attempt was being made, but I'm asking you, did he?
You just said, did he try? That's the same as an attempt, I guess.
No, well, let me rephrase the question. I said, did he?
Okay, well, you said, did he try to become? So I guess the new question with did he become, that's different than did he try to. To my knowledge, he did not become an officer in Henry County.
Okay. Did he apply to become a officer in Henry County?
I do not know whether he applied to become an officer or not.
Why wouldn't you know that?
Because you can make attempts to do something in more ways than filling out an application.
Well, did he apply to be a sheriff or work for your department office?
I would doubt he would apply at any sheriff's office or any legitimate police department.
Well, ask if he tried to apply, or did he apply at your office?
Not to my knowledge.
So your investigation of Mr. Alwood was based upon some rumor you heard that he was trying to apply in to become a police officer.
In my county, yes.
Okay. So what other investigative steps did you take besides looking up his criminal record or talk to witnesses like Chris Martin?
If I recall, I talked to a couple of other people who had interactions with Mr. Alwood.
And who were they?
You would have that information, I would assume, and I don't know the information off the top of my head.
Well, I don't have that information. That's why I'm asking. You say you don't have it off the top of your head. Do you have it written down somewhere?
To my knowledge, you have that information.
So I'm asking you a question.
Well, I know you told me you don't have that information, and I don't believe that's accurate.
Okay, who are they then? Oh, you don't have it. You said you don't have it right now.
Yeah, I don't have that information right now. I'm sitting in my car. That's not information that I carry with me, and I would assume that you can pull that. And
well, I'll double check, but my recollection is looking at a lot of the responses is they were non-responsive.
Yeah, well, if I remember correctly, you asked if I had contact with these specific people. So that's why I say that you know.
Oh, okay. You're talking about those people. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Travis. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Well, I tell you what, that medication question could have gone both ways. You're struggling. You're struggling, man.
Sir, I'm asking you to show a little bit of respect and dignity of the office of the sheriff deserves.
Well, so
I'm not look, regardless of what happened outside of this area. I'm just talking about right here.
Right.
I'm talking about right now during the deposition.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, when this deposition's over with, you can go and you can talk to your people. Hey, that Attorney Nicholson's he's a bum, whatever.
Yeah, I don't do that. So I'm not worried about doing that.
You insulting me trying to say that I need medication or something like that. I find it to be offensive.
Okay. Well, let me, with all due respect, let me make one comment here. You're the one that asked me if I were taking any medication that would cause me to not be able to tell the truth. You have several times answered untruthfully to me, just like you just did. So that's the only reason I said it. You said you don't have that information, you don't know, and you good and well know. And if you don't, you're not paying attention to your case.
Well, sir, the reason why I said that was because you didn't give me any names. And so then when you got a little bit more specific about the names, like, oh, okay, those are the two people. I don't know how many people you talked to. That's why I'm asking these questions.
Yeah, those two people that I can recall is all that I talked to about him.
Okay, and there are questions about mental, physical, any kind of drugs. Those are standard questions that I ask because if someone is on medication or someone has some kind of mental health issues, I don't want when we go to trial to say, well, hey, I was on medication. I was a little bit loopy. That I didn't know what was going on. So that's why I asked those questions. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay. You testified that you organized some town hall meeting, right?
Correct.
Okay, and what was the purpose of that?
The purpose was to talk about the town marshal scam scheme.
Who was invited?
To my knowledge, we attempted to invite all of the town marshals and their deputies within our county.
Did you discuss Mr. Alwood during the meeting?
I have not discussed Mr. Alwood in any meeting that I can recall outside of meeting with Mr. Martin.
Did you discuss his employment as being a town marshal?
Not that I recall in that meeting or in any other meeting.
If you did not use his name, did you describe circumstances that will allow attendees to identify him?
Objection. The recording speaks for itself. You can answer the question.
Yeah, I don't. The question is not doesn't appear to be clear, so I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay, well, let me clarify it for you then.
Okay.
During that meeting, did you describe circumstances or facts that would allow people to identify the person you're talking about as Korey Alwood?
Yeah.
Objection calls for speculation. You can answer.
Yeah, that to my knowledge, that meeting was recorded by your friend Kristopher Bilbrey. And so you have the recording, you've listened to it. I have not. I don't recall everything that I said in it. You've listened to it, so you're welcome to hit play and play the thing. I there's no need. You've got the facts there in front of you.
So what your answer is, you don't recall if you did or not, right?
I do not recall. I don't ever recall mentioning Korey Alwood. Korey Alwood was not that big of a deal in the scope of all things that we have to deal with. So I do not remember mentioning Korey Alwood at all in that meeting.
Okay. So that was not my question. My question was, did you mention facts that would have it to where people could identify him?
Okay.
Not that you said his name.
You'll have to explain that better to me, because I'm not tracking on that. The reason I called that meeting is because these small town marshal systems are such a danger, quite frankly, in the fact that if you have a buddy who's the town marshal, you can just get on as a town marshal and you can be a convicted felon or whatever. And in fact, I remember referencing specifically in that meeting that I called out a town marshal, a reserve town marshal working in our county that had been convicted of multiple felonies. And so I was, I guess I can say this: if the shoe fits, wear it. I was calling out the dangers of the town marshal scam scheme system that are prevalent and not specific to Korey Alwood. Like I said, if the shoe fits Korey, he's welcome to wear it. I was calling out different types of dangers of people who should never have a uniform and a badge getting employed in small town marshal systems. That's what I was calling out in general, spreading a wide net, just explaining those dangers, which are real dangers.
So Korey Alwood is someone you don't think should have a badge?
I absolutely. I mean, that I don't know why that question is relevant. I believe that everybody can change. I don't know Korey at all. And I do know this: God can change people, and I trust that is the case, and believe that may be the case with Korey. And I thank God for that. But yeah, there are things that you can do that you should never get a badge again, and you can still be a great caring person and go straight to heaven, and you could have been a murderer. And I believe that God changes people. And so, but according to past situations, yeah, I would not. I would say that Korey shouldn't have a badge, and I don't mean that in any harsh way. I believe Korey has, if he's been saved and his life been transformed, he's got a wonderful testimony. If that's the case, it can help many people, and that's wonderful. But specifically, if I think somebody should have a badge that's had to spend a lot of years in prison, absolutely not. And there's nothing ugly in that.
Okay. So I think after you said all about, people being saved, and then you said that you believe that Korey should not have a badge. Is that fair?
So I don't know much about Korey. What I understand in general is that he spent a good amount of time in prison. I don't know what all that's for, okay, but I do know this. Most of the time, innocent people don't spend a good amount of time in prison. So whatever, yeah, I would say that I think, I don't know. Yes, I'm very clear on I don't think Korey should ever have a badge. Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Or anybody else in the same boat. It has nothing to do specifically with Korey. It has to do with the situation.
Did you approve or review any written or video material before the town hall meeting that you called?
I don't recall. You could get more specific. I'm not tracking that question very well.
Okay, well, before you had this town hall meeting, did you review any material?
Review any material specific to the town hall meeting, I guess. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, did you prepare? I mean, did you just go there and just start talking, or did you look at documents and prepare before you went out there and started talking?
I believe I sent a document to town marshals requesting their presence. I can't recall what all. I think that I put on that document what we were going to talk about. I can't recall. So no, I don't. I didn't need to spend a lot of time preparing for the conversation that I was going to have with the town marshals. It's very cut and dry. It's very basic. So there's not. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure out the concerns that I was expressing to our people.
Okay. Were you aware that the statements you made at the town hall would likely be shared publicly or with media?
If I remember correctly, your friend Kristopher Bilbrey was there. So I would be aware that it's going to be shared everywhere in every possible way to try to trip me up. So yes, I was aware of that.
Moving on to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. Who contacted you about appearing on Boss Hog of Liberty podcast?
One of the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast guys, probably Jeremiah Morrell or Morrill. I don't know how you pronounce his name.
What topics were discussed before the recording?
There's not really any topics discussed before the recording. They just go in and it's pretty much goes straight to live. It's not Fox News or MSNBC.
Did you prepare any talking points or notes about Mr. Alwood or the town marshal program?
Not that I recall.
During the podcast, did you discuss individuals who match Mr. Alwood's background?
Objection. The recording speaks for itself. You can answer them.
Yeah, I was exactly what I was going to say. You've got the recording. You know what it says. You've been through it. So the recording speaks for itself. The entire Boss Hog podcast speaks for itself.
Okay, well, I'm asking you to speak for yourself. And what I'm asking is, did you discuss individuals who match Mr. Alwood's background?
I discussed everything precisely as it would appear on the recording of the Boss Hog.
So is that fair to say that, yes, you did discuss individuals who match Mr. Alwood's background? Yes or no, sir?
Objection mischaracterizes the evidence. The recording speaks for itself.
I'll say this. I already said it about the town hall meeting. I was speaking to the downfalls and the pitfalls of the small town marshal systems and the dangers of it. I was talking about issues right there within our own community of people who have had felonies who are currently working. So again, if the shoe fits, wear it. I don't know what to say, but no, I was not referencing Korey Alwood.
Well, Korey Alwood had a felony conviction, as you know, right?
I don't know. I know he spent time in prison. I don't know what his convictions are. I have no idea.
Okay.
I've not looked up to see what his convictions are. Well,
I thought you said you did look him up because you heard that he was going to try to apply.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me clarify that for you. I looked him up, as you well know, on our internal Spillman database, which only shows any interaction police-wise that we have had with Mr. Korey Alwood in Henry County.
Okay. And you met with Chris Martin from ISP, who said he did time in prison, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so to go to prison, as you know, Sheriff, you have to be convicted of a felony, right? It's not a misdemeanor. If you did a lot of time in prison.
Yep.
Okay, so it's reasonable for you to assume, being in law enforcement, that if he went to prison for a long time, it was probably a felony conviction, right?
That's very reasonable. And like I said, I was speaking about felony convictions and people getting in because I had a dude sitting right in front of me at the town hall meeting who I was referring to. So I just was talking about in general, these issues. And like I said, I'm sorry the shoe fits. Apparently it does. That's not that's his problem, not mine.
So who is the person that was sitting in front of you that you're referring to that fit this description that you're talking about?
His name is Brian Atkinson, and he's had his record expunged as well.
So Brian Atkinson.
Yep.
You're saying,
you know him well. Yeah, exactly. You know him well because you filed another lawsuit on him to us, and constantly. Yeah. So yes, he's been convicted of multiple felonies.
And then he applied to be a town marshal in your department?
I don't have town marshals in my department. Okay, we are the Henry County Sheriff's Office.
Did he apply to be a sheriff?
I don't ever recall him applying to be a full-time sheriff. I believe he applied as a reserve. In fact, I know he did because there was a point where he was a reserve with the Henry County Sheriff's Office and the previous sheriff terminated him.
Okay. Did he try to be a town marshal?
He didn't try to be. He was a reserve town marshal.
Okay.
And I was the first person that he looked up on his computer as soon as he had access to it. Just a little side note.
Did he go to the law enforcement academy?
Negative.
Okay.
Is
he a member?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I interrupted. Go ahead.
Part of the big issues and the big warnings that I'm giving about these small town marshals. No, he didn't go to the police academy.
Okay.
has no idea what he's doing law enforcement wise, except assisting a criminal in which you filed a lawsuit, and he'll probably get some charges from Wayne County soon. And it's unfortunate that I'll leave it at
that. So what member, what gang is he involved with?
What gang is who involved with?
Brian Atkinson.
So obviously, as I said, I know where you're going with this. I was covering lots of different areas of concern in a general sense.
So
I never said.
My question is,
where have I said that Brian Atkinson was a gang member?
No, I'm asking you. I didn't say you said that. I just asked you what gang was Brian Atkinson a member of?
Well, for you to ask the question in that manner would assume that he was a gang member. You're trying to sort out which gang it was. I never mentioned anything about Atkinson and a gang. So I guess I'm just not tracking on that. What gang was he a member of?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll just say I'll
Okay.
answer that question that way. I don't know what gang he was a member of.
Do you know if he was in a gang?
I don't.
Okay. Now I want to talk about your well, still talking about the Boss Hog Liberty. Do you have any reasons to doubt the accuracy of what you said?
Do I have any reasons to doubt the accuracy of what I said? And when you say what I said, what are you referring to? Every word that was spoken on the Boss Hog, I assume?
Yes.
Well, I would hope that my words are not inaccurate. If I was misinformed on any type of situation and I repeated information, I guess you could say some things could be inaccurate had I been misinformed. But no, I would trust that what I say is not inaccurate. We don't always get it exactly right, though.
Did you intend for your statements to be publicized to a wide audience?
I didn't intend for it to be publicized to a wide audience. I don't know what kind of audience the Boss Hog has. It doesn't look too wide to me.
Okay. Well, would you agree that being on his podcast, that it did reach other people?
Objection calls for speculation.
I have no
answer.
idea. It's like Chris Bilbrey. I don't think he reaches very many people. So I don't know.
Well, I didn't say my question in regards to the Boss Hog was other people, not a lot of people, but
I don't
somebody.
know. I don't know. The feed could be broken for all I know. I don't know.
Okay. So did anybody tell you that they saw you on Boss Hog Liberty podcast?
Yeah, I don't recall.
Were there any people that called in during this podcast?
I don't recall, but the recording speaks for itself.
Yes, it does. The purpose for you to go on the Boss Hog Liberty podcast, was it to speak to an audience?
My purpose was to go speak to the Boss Hog people who asked me to come talk to them. So that was my purpose.
Okay, and how many people are on the Boss Hog?
Was there 2 or 3 in there? You've got the recording. You could answer that. I don't remember.
Okay. Now going on to the Wish TV. How did that interview come about?
I would assume that they contacted me about doing an interview.
How did they contact you?
I don't recall.
If you had to speculate, do you think this was something that they would walk into your office and meet with you to say, hey, we want to do an interview?
Objection literally calls for speculation. He already said he doesn't recall how
I'm
he
not an
was
attorney,
approached.
but I'm sitting there thinking the same thing. What you want me to speculate? What else do you want me to speculate on while we're at it?
I'm asking you to speculate on this.
I'm not going to speculate on that. I don't.
Well, you can answer, sir. You can answer the question.
I am
because this
answering
is a deposition. This is a deposition.
Yep.
It's not a trial. So
Okay.
during trial, yes, there's an objection for that.
Okay.
During deposition, hearsay, speculation, all that can come in during a deposition.
So I'll answer the question. Go ahead and give me the question again.
Okay. So, for someone from the media, Wish TV, to interview you, would it be normal for them just to show up and do an interview, or would they reach out to you prior to coming to your office?
I wouldn't know what would be normal to Wish TV on how they do that. You would have to ask them that. I don't know their norms.
No, I'm talking about with you. I mean, you've given you've given interviews to news before, right?
I have.
Okay. So so when you give interviews, is it because the media just shows up at your office, or do they usually contact you prior to showing up?
It's a mix of both. Sometimes they just show up. If there's a situation or a scene, they just show up. You would know that. And sometimes they reach out and request a meeting.
Okay. What steps did you take to determine if Wish TV reached out prior to showing up?
I believe that there was a request for emails. And I believe that our staff worked on getting emails to you from TV stations, if there were any.
And you may have already answered this. Apologize if you had. They initiated contact with you first, right? You didn't initiate contact with them.
I answer that saying I don't recall.
What topics were you told would be discussed?
I don't recall.
Did you refer to Mr. Alwood in that interview?
I don't believe I did. As I said, I haven't talked about Mr. Alwood in any of these interviews, and the interviews will speak to them for themselves. If I did, you'll find it in the interview. You've got all that information. I guess I'm just struggling with all the questions about, you've got all of these interviews. Why are you having to ask the question about what was said in the interview? You've listened to it. I've never gone back and listened to any of these interviews. You've got the information.
Were you aware that the interview would be broadcast on television and online?
You know, I'm going to say no, because sometimes they don't broadcast when they do interviews. They may not broadcast it. So no, I was not aware of that, whether it would be or not.
Did you ever watch the video after it aired?
I do not recall ever watching the video after it aired.
Did you ask to make any corrections or clarifications?
I do not recall ever asking to make any questions or clarifications. Ask any questions or make clarifications.
Do you believe the information that you provided was accurate?
Well, I wouldn't provide him any information ever if I did not believe it was accurate. So any information I ever provide to anybody, I believe is accurate. Whether it is actually accurate or not, I can't speak to that, but I can assure you, I would never provide information that I believe is inaccurate. That's not how I operate.
What sources did you rely on when you spoke publicly about the town marshal system?
I relied on sources that I personally am aware of in, again, a wide spectrum of issues with these small town marshal systems, sources that I personally am aware of and understand.
Are any of those documented like in paper form or electronic form?
Not that I recall. Most of this stuff is just, honestly, most of this stuff is common sense. And common sense typically ain't documented in paper form. It's just common sense. And when you can
What sources did?
Yeah.
What sources did you rely on when you spoke publicly about Mr. Alwood?
Objection. Misconstrues the facts. He's already testified that he's never spoken publicly about Mr. Alwood, that he only spoke privately with Sergeant Martin.
So what facts did you rely on when you spoke publicly about Mr. Alwood to this Chris Martin? And also you said that you talked about other people. So as your attorney says, I'm mischaracterizing the facts. I think that's in disagreement with what you said when you said you talked to Chris Martin about Mr. Alwood, and you also talked to at least 2 other people. Would you agree?
Agree to the fact that I talked to Chris Martin and 2 other people about Mr. Alwood?
Yes.
Well, of course I'd agree to that fact. It's a fact.
Okay.
I did talk to them.
All right. Well, your attorney said that you only spoke with Mr. Martin.
Again, I'm going to object to you mischaracterizing my objection. You said spoke publicly.
Yes. Speaking publicly is him speaking to Mr. Martin and speaking to 2 other people.
No, it is not, Mark, and you know that. That is a total conversation between 2 people, and you're mischaracterizing his testimony, and you're asking a question without foundation.
Come on, Mark. Really, seriously.
I am being serious.
You want to ask him about private conversations between him and Mr. Martin.
It's not private when it's not private under statute of defamation when you tell a third party. So tell me about what information that you relied on when you spoke to other people about Mr. Alwood.
That's very easy. I simply asked them questions, and they're the ones that gave me information. I didn't call and give them information. I called and said, do you know anything about Korey Alwood? And hang on to your britches, I guess, would be the next phrase. Okay.
Okay. Well, what did they say?
Well, they said that they found out Korey Alwood, the one place that I remember, I don't even remember where it was. You would know this, up north somewhere. They had no idea Korey Alwood had one of their badges because his buddy, the town marshal, gave him a badge. And as soon as they found out, they got rid of him.
This wasn't Chris Martin that you're referring to, right?
No, I'm referring to some town council member guy. You know who it is. You've got the name. I don't remember the name. Who I simply called, said, did you used to employ Korey Alwood? That's all I asked. And then he told me all of the horror story of their association with Korey Alwood.
All right. And did you personally verify the information before making these public statements?
I didn't make any public statements about Korey Alwood.
Did you personally verify any of the statements that you just told me about?
I didn't need to personally verify it because it didn't go anywhere with me. What do I need to personally verify it for?
Did anyone ever warn or advise you that your statements might be inaccurate?
Not that I recall.
Do you understand that the public or the media and other officers could identify Mr. Alwood from your statements?
Objection calls for speculation. You can answer.
I guess they could identify anybody else that has a similar circumstances as Korey Alwood. So, I mean, what specialty does that make that he happens to fit a narrative of you know, convicted felons being hired on? There's a ton of them. There's a ton of them that's done this. This is, you can go look at the news and read all kind of articles where town marshals found out that they had hired their buddy and they didn't know till later that he's a convicted felon. This is nothing uncommon. This was just what I was warning our people about. Let's not repeat the same problem.
Okay, so you agree that basically what you're describing, it does fit Korey.
I don't know Korey. I don't know Korey. I said, I don't know that it fits Korey. I didn't go, as you said, I looked him up. There's nothing in Henry County. We've never had any action with him police-wise in Henry County. I didn't go pull a triple. I didn't pull any information. So I don't know what fits Korey. I have no idea what fits Korey.
Did you intend for your remarks to call attention to Mr. Alwood's background or conduct?
Of course I did not. I mean, you've got all the recordings and you're having to, I don't know, go listen to the recordings, man. You've listened to them 100 times.
After your public statements, were you aware that Mr. Alwood suffered reputational harm?
Objection, facts not in evidence, calls for speculation. You can answer if you know.
I have no idea what he suffered anything. I don't know Korey Alwood. I'm sorry, man, but this is almost laughable to me. And I don't mean any disrespect, Korey.
Yeah. Well, it's not laughable to him.
I get. I don't mean any disrespect, but asking me if I knew that Korey suffered reputational harm, because I wasn't talking about Korey, so I don't know. And I'm sorry. I reputational harm. You know, if that occurred for some reason, I'm you know, sorry. I sure didn't put anything out on you to cause you reputational harm.
Did you ever contact Mr. Alwood to discuss or clarify your statements?
Why would I? I don't have any statements about Korey Alwood. Why would I contact Korey Alwood to clarify anything?
Have you issued any public apology or clarification or statement regarding those past interviews?
Obviously not, because there's no reason to.
Does Henry County Sheriff's Office have any written policies about making public statements to the media?
I cannot recall.
Did you follow any the office policies during your podcast interview?
Again, I don't recall the policy, so I can't recall that.
And so that would be the same for your town hall meeting?
It'd be the same for any meeting I had, period.
And your Wish TV interview?
That would be the same.
Are there any internal procedures for fact checking or legal review of statements made by you?
Not that I'm aware of. Like we all.
Does anyone in your go ahead. Does anyone in your department or counsel for the county review your public comments beforehand?
They do not.
during your interview, the town hall meeting, you said it would blow your mind the level of criminality
I'm
that is
on
walking
a
the street.
deposition. I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. You have to repeat that.
Yeah. All right. During the town hall meeting, you said it would blow your mind the level of criminality that is walking the street with a police uniform. We have a picture of him. Shocking, isn't it? You go from prison uniform and prison markings to the next picture, a police uniform. Who were you referring to in that statement?
I can't recall.
Who is we? Have a picture of him.
I can't answer that. I don't know who I was referring to at that time as saying we.
So that person that you're referring to, it was not Brian Atkinson.
Like I said, I can't recall who I was referring to at that moment.
So since you don't recall, then it could have been Korey, right?
Well, since I don't recall, it could have been Korey, and it could have been anybody else, and it could have been Brian Atkinson.
Okay. Well, Korey actually has a picture of him in a police uniform and a prison uniform. Okay. He had that on his Facebook page.
So I guess he's the one that announced it, not me.
Well, if you're saying that you're referring to that,
well, I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that. So I guess the cat got out of the bag that he was a convicted felon and a police officer. And
we have a picture of him. We have a picture of him. Where's the picture?
I don't know. Like I said, I can't recall what I'm talking about. I do not know what so I can't advise on that. Like I said, we have a picture of Brian Atkinson in a police uniform, and we have a picture of Brian Atkinson with the arrest photo as well. And as I told you,
but not a prison uniform. But you said prison uniform. You have a picture of Brian Atkinson in a prison uniform?
Those names, those are interchangeable. Prison uniform, jail uniform. There's no difference. You pick the uniform. So there's not a specific prison uniform and a specific jail uniform. Different entities just pick different colors, different types. So that's an interchangeable statement.
But you know that prison and jail are not interchangeable, right?
What I didn't say that prison and jail were. I said the term prison uniform could be.
Well, when you talk about a prison uniform, most people are going to think prison, right? Would you agree?
You know what? Most people, your average people, don't know the difference between prison and jail.
Okay. Well, let's talk about people in law enforcement. Do people in law enforcement, do you know the difference between prison and jail?
I do.
Okay. Would you agree that most law enforcement officers probably know the difference between prison and jail?
Objection calls for speculation. You can answer.
But yes, I would think so.
Okay.
Probably some town marshal guys that don't know the difference between jail and prison and a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, Sheriff, I didn't ask you about town marshals, did I?
No, but I threw that in for free.
Well, I hope you can throw in some free answers to the questions I'm asking instead of all that do not recall business. How about that?
Do you recall calling me a racist? Do you recall calling me a racist?
Sir, I'm asking the questions right now.
I know.
The question I asked you during the deposition, was, are you a racist? I didn't get in there and call you. I didn't disrespect you by calling you that.
No, you called me a racist many times publicly. So you want to try to infer that you didn't? Are you the one lying now? Come on, Mark. You've got to be better than this, brother.
Sheriff
You've got to be better than this.
Let's just answer the questions that are asked and not engage in any extracurriculars.
I suggest you listen to your attorney on that one.
Yep, I will.
Thank you. So what I mentioned at the town hall meeting is That's a statement that you made, correct?
Objection speaks for itself.
Well, you said it will blow your mind the level of criminality that is walking the street with a police uniform. We have a picture of him. Shocking, isn't it? You go from prison uniform and prison markings to the next picture, police uniform. That's a statement you made, correct?
That is correct. And I already told you that I was calling out Brian Atkinson, who exactly, we have that as well. So I can't remember and recall who I was referring to.
You said you can't recall who you're referring to, right?
That's what I said.
Okay. It also said, you said, referring to the town marshals, it attracts the predator type people when you have a buddy who says, I can put you on a department, even though you just got out of prison for many years, even though you have a criminal history 20 miles long, you can get a police job. You also said that, correct?
Record will reflect.
And your quote was referencing Korey Alwood, correct?
That is not. I do not recall, but that is a generalized statement. I was speaking to the generalized concerns using generalized information. Again, you can pick any statement about prison. If you spent 2 years in prison for this, that, and the other, and it'll fit somebody's shoe, it will fit. So no, I was using generalized terms to talk about the dangers of this crazy town marshal scam scheme.
Well, you said you were very specific in saying that the person had a buddy who can put them on the department, right? That's very specific.
Very specific, because I know this town marshal scam scheme to be this exact thing. In fact, in the interview, a lady asked me in one interview about, tell me how this works. And I said, well, if you have a buddy who is a town marshal. So for me saying had a buddy, that is just very general statements, because all of these town marshal reserve guys, they're there because they've got a buddy who's the town marshal. That's very generalized.
So you already knew from talking to one of these people that Korey was a town marshal, right?
I don't know if he was a town marshal. I didn't know his current status. Apparently he had been, and I don't even know if he had been a legitimate one. So I don't know.
Well, you were told by one of the witnesses you talked to that he had been, and you said then they ended up firing him, right? Isn't that what you said?
But what I said was they didn't even know he was, and they're the ones that they had no idea that he was a town marshal. Their town council didn't even know, because he had a buddy like a million of these other people do. And when they found out that he had a badge, they took it from him. So whether he was ever really a town marshal or not, I don't know that, and it doesn't matter to me.
So it just sounds like yeah, okay. Now moving on to the Boss Hog Liberty podcast. You said this is one of the big concerns. I want to be careful what I say here. Here are some huge concerns. There are realities out there. There are well-known nationally violent gangs that have a goal of infiltrating small-town police departments. We know this stuff as fact. That is not something I'm just making up to try to scare people. We know that people have wound up with badges who are hardened criminals.
Yes. Again, generalized statement. I know multiple people who have, so that's a generalized statement.
Okay. Who are these multiple people that you know that are members of this national violent gang that are now police officers?
Again,
objection. This characterizes the testimony. The statement speaks for itself.
I'm asking you who these people are, Sheriff, that fit this description.
I'm going to say that the statement speaks for itself, and as I've said many times, I'm casting a wide net, speaking about general concerns of these town marshal scam schemes.
You just said previous to that you knew a lot of people that fit this description. So I'm asking you, who fits this description?
I don't think I said I know a lot of people that fit that description.
Okay. I'm asking you who fits the description, who fits the description?
So the description of being in jail, incarcerated, in prison, whatever, the generalized being incarcerated, and then having a badge right off the bat, and I'm sure I could pull up more, but right off the bat, your buddy Brian Atkinson and Korey Alwood. There's two of them. And Kristopher Bilbrey, I guess, would be another one, your other buddy. So he has been arrested too. So I guess you got three in the same boat. So there's your three of them.
And which one has been in a national violent gang?
I don't know.
So your testimony today is that you didn't know that Korey was a member of the Aryan Brotherhood? Is that what you're saying, Sheriff?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, what are you saying then? Because it sounds like you just said you didn't know anybody was in the gang. So what are you saying?
I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is I don't know who all of these guys have been in a gang. Chris Bilbrey's probably in gangs as well, probably some that we don't want to know about. And Brian Atkinson could as well. So I don't know this. I don't know the specifics on any of these. Again, I'm speaking in generalized statements, not specific statements.
But Sheriff, I know it's been a while, but didn't you say that Chris Martin from ISP met you in person and told you specifically that Korey Alwood was a member of the Aryan Brotherhood? They had him on phone calls to his Aryan Brotherhood friends, and they had him put money on Aryan Brotherhood books.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, you don't have to be an Aryan.
You said yes. You said yes. Would you agree that the Aryan Brotherhood is a nationally known gang?
Okay, I agree with that.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I assume that Korey Alwood is a former Aryan Brotherhood member. Okay.
Exactly. So out of the three people you mentioned, only one of them you knew was a member of a gang.
I said I assumed. I don't know. How do I know? I didn't follow up and do any investigation to detail out this stuff. I already told you that.
Okay. How well you know Chris Martin?
I know Chris Martin well.
Okay. You think he's just gonna come lie to you?
Nope, I don't.
You trust what he says?
I do.
Okay. So when he told you that, you didn't have any reason to doubt it, did you?
I didn't have any reason to doubt it, no.
Okay. And he told you that about Korey Alwood, right?
That's correct.
He didn't tell you that about Brian Atkinson?
I know Brian Atkinson. I know Brian Atkinson has been incarcerated and in a prison uniform, if you will, and in a police uniform too. Again, speak in general terms.
That's not my question. Okay, that's not my question. My question is that Chris Martin didn't ask you about Brian Atkinson, did he?
He did not ask me about Brian Atkinson.
He didn't tell you about Brian Atkinson, did he?
He did not.
He didn't tell you about Kristopher Bilbrey?
He did not.
He didn't ask about Kristopher Bilbrey?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, the only one was Korey Alwood. All right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just said okay.
Okay. All right. Now, on your Wish TV interview, you said there is a nationally known violent gang who has the goal to infiltrate small town police departments. We know of a gang member, a gang leader who has expunged records. He has spent an enormous amount of time in prison, who got a badge in a small town because his buddy was a town marshal. Who are you referring to? Well, first of all, you made that statement, correct?
Oh, the
Objection.
record
Speaks for itself.
reflect. So
Yeah. And that's a statement you made to Wish
That's-
TV
that's correct.
on July 2023.
Okay.
All right. So who were you referring to there?
I'm going to say it again. I am speaking to the concerns and the issues of the small town marshal systems. I am giving examples of what could happen, and so I
speaking
in generalized terms.
So,
And
sir,
again-
this wasn't general when you say when you know of a gang member. Who is this gang member you claim that you know of other than Korey?
Yeah, I can't recall.
I'm sure you can. Who is the person that had the expunged records that is the gang member and the gang leader who has the expunged records and a more enormous amount of time in prison other than Korey?
I couldn't tell you.
Now we're going to add in the buddy business. Who else became a town marshal because of what you heard was because of their buddy?
Practically all of them. Practically all of them.
Okay. Well, now you say practically all of them. Now narrow it down to a member, the gang leader with his expunged records and an enormous amount of time in prison.
Again, go ahead.
Let me finish, please.
Yep.
Who other than Korey Alwood fits that description that you're talking about?
I would say plenty of them.
Okay,
I'd say
well,
plenty of them.
Okay. Do you know of anyone else other than Korey that fits that description?
Well, I am. I don't know any other specific, but I am sure there's plenty of them because I've read about it. So I'm going off of information that it's no type in this situation with town marshals, and you'll read about it everywhere. You'll read about little towns that found out that their town marshal or one of their reserves has served prison time. They had no idea. He was such a nice guy, but he had been in prison for, you name it. It's just, this is common. So again, apparently Korey just lands in exactly the element of people that I'm talking about. So
this isn't an element. This is specific elements that you mentioned.
Yeah,
that
right.
are very specific.
They are, and they have occurred over time, and you can go read about it.
Okay. Well, you said, where did you read about someone that fits this description? Since you said you read about it, do you have that document?
I said I have read about these type of things where small towns find out that they have had one of their deputies or their marshal has been a convicted felon. That's what I said. That information, you can go find it too. It's not the whole world doesn't narrow down on, oh crap, he's talking about one person. I'm giving generalized warnings because this can happen or that can happen.
All right. So in this statement, I've not been able to find anybody that fits this description that you gave. Are you saying that, other than Korey, excuse me, are you saying that you read something online of a town marshal that fits this description that you gave?
I have already said what I said about that multiple times.
Okay. Are you able to produce that document that you read? That
you can produce. I don't remember the exact. I've read multiple documents about this type of thing.
okay.
I'll repeat it again. This is the answer I've given over and over. There are multiple documents out there of this type of thing.
Okay. Is it fair to say that you don't know these documents, like you don't have these documents that you're referring to? Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. And the only person that actually talked to you about someone that fits this description was Chris Martin talking about Korey Alwood. Is that fair?
Well, I want to clarify then if that's the way the question's going to go. I said I don't have these documents. I don't have these documents in hand. I have these documents registered in my mind because I have read these type of documents. So
okay.
Yes, everything there is fair.
Okay. And then so those documents that you have, are you saying you have those like at your sheriff's office?
I thought I just said I had them in my mind from reading them.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. And I want to back up to the question I asked in regards to, out of all the examples that you have read about, the only person that was discussed with you from Indiana State Police was Chris Martin talking to you about Korey Alwood, right?
That's a fair characterization. I have plenty of information in my mind that I have reviewed and read that fits this narrative. And yes, Chris Martin talked to me about Korey Alwood. So those both are fair statements.
Okay. And in the statement that you've made to Wish TV, you didn't say, or did you say that this is just an example? I'm just saying this as an example.
The record will reflect what I said.
Did you do any other than the one or two calls you had? Did you do any other kind of background search on Korey's employment history or?
Not that I recall.
And the person that you talked to was, I'm assuming it was Aaron Travis. That's one of the people you're referring to?
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Okay.
Was he out of that
town of Swayze?
Yes. Yeah, correct.
You know where Swayze's at?
I do not know where Swayze's at.
Okay. I know earlier you mentioned something about one of the places up north, so I didn't know if Swayze was.
I felt like Swayze was up north, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens?
Calls for speculation. Objection calls for legal conclusion. And
well, it's not speculation, obviously, because he's a
sorry,
law enforcement
objection
officer.
relevance.
Okay. So go ahead and answer, Sheriff.
Okay. Repeat the question for me again.
Do you need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate citizens?
I wasn't using law enforcement resources to investigate citizens.
I may have broke up. That's not what the question was. My question is, do you need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens?
Objection calls for legal conclusion. You can answer if you know the answer.
Yeah. You should know the answer, being a law enforcement officer. I said you should know the answer, being a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, well, first of all, I said I didn't use law enforcement resources to do that.
Yeah, I didn't ask you if you did. I said, basically, I'm asking you what the laws. Do you need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens?
I guess it would depend on the specific situation. So,
okay, what's the situation?
You're the one asking the question. I don't know.
You don't know if you need probable cause?
No, you just said what's the situation. I said there. I don't. You're asking me to speculate on a certain situation.
Well, you're the one that said it depends on the situation. I'm not a law enforcement officer, so I don't know the situations. That's why I'm asking you a question.
Okay, then that answer.
I thought you being a sheriff and a graduate of the police academy, you would know the law.
I would think you being an attorney.
Objection, argumentative.
Yeah. So is your answer, you don't know if you need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens?
I'm just going to say that, and it's the same as your answer. You said you don't know either, so I guess we're going to go with the same answers on it.
I didn't say I didn't know. Well, if I did say that, I misspoke. But what I'm saying is I don't know the situation because you said you don't know the situation, so I don't know the situation. Because you said it depends on the situation, so I don't know the situation you're referring to.
He answered the question. You asked him if you have to have probable cause to do research and on a private citizen, and he said it depends on the situation, such as if there are circumstances.
Right, and then I asked him what's the situation, and then he said I think he may have asked me what situation I'm talking about. And I'm like, what? I don't know. Tell me. He's the law enforcement officer.
Well, there could be a million different situations. Do we want to start with? Come on.
Your question is: are there situations in which you don't need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate a private citizen?
I'm going to say.
You can answer his question.
He's asking you what the question was.
No, I thought he asked you the question.
No, so I'm asking you to clarify your question. When you said what situation,
clarify the question.
Is your question, what situations are there where you don't need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate a private citizen?
Well, that wasn't my question. But if you want me to ask that question, I can ask that question. What situations are there where you don't need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens?
So if you're investigating a private citizen in a investigatory, obviously a law enforcement manner, you do need probable cause. So I guess the way that question got out of whack is bringing it up, inferring that I am using law enforcement to I'm not investigating Korey Alwood. So that
wasn't my question, Sheriff. That wasn't my question. No, it wasn't. I have it written down, and when you get the transcripts, you'll see my question was very specific. Do you need probable cause to use law enforcement resources to investigate private citizens? That was the question.
Yeah, that question came on the heels of talking to that. So I'm not that detached from reality, Mark.
Thank you for clarifying.
The record would reflect.
Have you found any proof that Korey Alwood was infiltrating small town law enforcement?
Specifically, to answer your question, he was apparently attempting to gain employment with the Greensboro Town Marshal Department in Henry County.
Okay. And how did you find that out?
I was made aware of that by Chris Martin.
Okay. What did you do when you found that out?
I don't recall that I did anything when I found that out. I guess I would have nodded my head.
And you're the sheriff of Henry County, right?
Asked and answered.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. And Greensboro, you said it is in Henry County?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And earlier, I think you said that you thought you had because you're sheriff of Henry County, that you had some kind of personal, or not personal, or professional interest in people trying to become law enforcement officers in Henry County that don't match the description that you approve of,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So, but you're saying once you found out that he was trying or attempting to become a law enforcement officer inside Henry County, you're saying you didn't act on that?
I'm saying I don't recall exactly what happened, and I'll be happy to talk about if you have other information. I'll be happy to talk about it. So I don't recall precisely what I did, and but I'm happy to talk about whatever I did.
Okay. Do you think that this is something that you would take action on, or you would just let it go in one ear and out the other?
I depending on the situation. So I possibly did take action on, and you could probably enlighten me on whether I did or not. I'll be happy to talk about it.
All right. Did you know? Well, did Chris Martin tell you that Korey was an active gang member, or well, I guess he
Yeah. Not that I
won't even ask that question.
not. Let me answer that question for you. Not that I recall.
Okay. He just told you that he's talking to Aryan Brotherhoods and putting money on their books.
I believe that's what the record will reflect that I said.
Okay. And the reason why that you gave these interviews is because you wanted to bring information to the town marshal program, right?
I wanted to bring awareness to the
Awareness.
dangers of the town marshal system.
Before you gave any of the interviews, did you write down any notes?
Negative.
After the interview, did you write down any notes?
Not that I recall.
All right, I'm going to try to share my screen. right. I think the 25-minute mark.
Mark, are you trying to share something? I don't see any video.
Yeah, I am. I can't see it. Oh, here. Yeah, I can't see it, but let me see if you can you see it?
I can see a video next to what looks like a transcript.
Yep.
I assume this is from your friend Kristopher Bilbrey's post.
The town hall meeting.
I don't know if anybody else that put it out other than Chris Bilbrey.
Okay. Let me know if you can hear it.
That have multiple arrests. One of these state police officers knows very well that there is a very serious issue.
I can't hear it.
Can't hear it?
No, but I mean the record will reflect. I would assume we could roll on with it.
Well, I want to make sure that you can hear.
What convicted felon town marshal in the picture who served time in behind bars.
Yes, that's what you said.
That we have pictures of in a law enforcement uniform and jail uniform and prison uniform, however you want to term it.
You have those well, you specifically said prison, and you know the difference between prison and jail. So I'll hold up. I have it on a laptop as well.
Law enforcement agencies can look at that data. You have to produce that. So I do know this. I know that we've got multiple people working this county that have multiple arrests. One of these state police officers knows very well that there is a very serious issue that is trying to come together. That's a good way to say it. Trying to come together, and it would blow your mind. The level of criminality that will be walking the street with the police uniform. We have a picture of the police uniform. It's shocking. Ain't it? You go from all of the prison uniforms that they've got and all of the markings to the next picture of police. And you know what they're doing? They're preying on little towns. Hey, we can come start a police department. We'll give you 24-hour coverage. You can pay us $1 a year. We'll buy our own cars. You can lease it for $1. Guys, it is a phenomenal problem. And I know that I sound harsh. I don't know how else to put it. This is a problem, a big time problem. Somebody's going to get wrapped up in a big time problem, a big time lawsuit. So here's my.
So I don't know. Were you able to hear that, Sheriff?
I was, yes, sir.
Okay. So in that one, you're talking about people going to start with these police departments in small towns, right? And also the picture of this picture.
Yeah, and also in case you missed it, I was talking talking generally. I said we've got people right here that have been convicted of felonies. So I'm giving general warnings. You heard both of them right there. There's 2 of them, and I've given many, many more. It was just general warnings. And so I specifically mentioned 2 different ones in that segment that you just played for me, covering general warnings.
Yes. All right. We'll fast forward a little bit to another one.
Here, armed with firearms, one of them wearing a shirt that said police, and
at a cut rate price. The caveat, they wanted to be sworn into office that night. And they even provided their own oath of office for the town council president to read.
you know, it's about 2 paragraphs probably of just that they'll become deputized as our marshals and carry on their duties from there.
He said the guy looked.
Fast forward.
But through unofficial search on that, nothing came back.
The 2 men offered their services to the town for $1. In return, they asked the town to provide vehicle insurance and a place to do paperwork. The town considered their proposal, but they needed a little bit more information before moving forward, like a background check, which I'm told was.
Yes.
Can you state for the record what video it is that you're playing?
Yes, this is the I-Team Wish TV video raises more concerns about Indiana Town Marshal program on September 6, 2023.
Okay.
This, all right. I don't know why it's being difficult to play.
It's like you would find in a police car, and the driver is armed. The driver told Sheriff is armed. The driver told Sheriff Sproles that he was hoping to start a police department in East.
This is Elvante Riddick, who you're
Been
familiar
arrested
with.
multiple times for impersonating.
Go ahead and face up to him. You want to be a police officer? We're dealing with so much of this stuff that we're sick and tired of it. We're sick and tired of these little tales. You've already been arrested for impersonating. And I'm not trying to be ugly. I don't care about you. I'm not just please. They're the citizens, man. They're the citizens.
And that's not regarding Korey, that's regarding Elvante that you're referring to.
He got arrested for impersonating after that, I hear.
Here's my big concern. The two guys that tried to start a police department in East Germantown.
Well, guess what? One of those guys happened to be a guy that we were watching, who is a known gang member, trying to infiltrate, and he was one of them. We are monitoring. There is a nationally recognized gang who has the goal to infiltrate small town departments. We know of a gang member, a gang leader who has had expunged records, enormous, it has spent an enormous amount of time in prison.
So, Sheriff, in regards to this statement, you said that we are watching. Who are you watching?
So I guess in that statement, I was just simply referring to the state police, and when I said that, and what they said about Korey Alwood.
Okay, so when you're saying we were watching, you were actually talking about not you specifically, but the state police watching Korey Alwood.
I was using just general terms of we as law enforcement.
Well, okay, but the reference that you just said was the nationally known gang leader was what Chris Martin from the state police told you that they were watching him.
I don't remember anything about a nationally known gang leader, but maybe that's what was said. I didn't hear that. But yeah, I was referring to just the information from the state police that they provided, and they were, because I wasn't watching Korey Alwood, so.
Right, but you saying you use that in general police terms that that the state police were watching him.
Correct.
And Yeah, and so the in there, I know you said you didn't hear it, but it was saying you said that the nationally known violent gang. What is the nationally known violent gang? Well, obviously it's the Aryan Brother. I'm just going to stop wasting your time because that's what it would. Isn't that correct?
Well, yeah, I just said that I was relaying the information from the state police. So yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
All right. And I think there may be one more if I can get that one for the Boss Hog. See if I can get that one to play. Of course, when I did this in practice, they were all playing with no problem. And then now, technical difficulties, 29. So this is the what we talked about earlier, the Boss Hog podcast that you gave. And I'm going to go down to around I think it's the 29-minute mark of that interview.
Could you be specific on the date and the episode number that you're playing?
307 is I'm assuming that's the episode number that they have.
No, I'm asking you what video you're playing. I don't.
Oh, yeah, that's it. The Boss Hog Liberty podcast. And it says 307, so I'm assuming that's the episode number, maybe, because it says 307.
Is there a date on it?
Yes, hold on. Pull the date up. Yeah, it is episode 307 from the Boss Hog Liberty podcast. Do you know the date you gave that interview, Sheriff? Because I don't see it on their actual. Okay.
Come on, man. I ain't that. I've got more going on than that.
Yeah. But it is episode 307, guys, and that's how it's labeled too. So we can find it from there. And it was in Discovery.
Well,
and like I said, I'm going to fast forward around the 29-minute mark. Well, this is actually 28.
Exactly how that works is going to be a little bit limited, but let me correct one thing there that said about a town wanting to start a police department. There are people out looking to start police departments, literally contacting small towns and requesting a meeting with their 3 or 4 board members and saying, hey, we can provide a police department for this town. We would like to start a police department. And you can just pay us $1 a year and we'll provide 24-hour coverage. And
so it's like a sales pitch, essentially.
It is a sales pitch. And I want to make this really, really clear to our people listening. That sounds goofy. It's happening. I have facts on people.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there just for the record. It's clear that was you actually talking, saying about the town marshal program, right?
Yes, that was me speaking about people going around trying to start police departments. And I know multiple little towns where people have gone in and done this and were successful in starting. So that right there is nothing specific to anybody. That's again generalized. This is why this system is such a joke. I know multiple people, so I'm just putting out that warning that there's literally people going around asking little town marshals or little town councils if they could start a police department for them. It's happened several times in my county.
Okay, and the other voice that we heard was somebody from the Boss Hog program, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now you said you had facts on these people.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Are these written down facts?
No, these are just known facts. And one of the examples is the Greensboro, the little town of Greensboro that I've just got multiple examples of all of these things. And the little town of Greensboro, they never had a police department. They've got 130 occupants in the town. The town's 71 acres. Some joker came in there, and he's the guy that was on the video that got taken down. You've seen it. And talked his buddy, the town council, into starting a police department. They've got about 30 police officers now in that little town. And the one dude that was there on that video, he's since been fired because he's a thief and stole $40,000 from the town. It's a joke, man. This stuff hypes me up. It's a joke. It's sad to watch. And so you just played, that happens. I know multiple cases of that. It has nothing to do with your client.
So, once again, the facts that you're referring to in this video are just known facts that are just out there, but it's not anything that you have written down, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
People trying to start police departments. I've got body camera footage of people saying, well, I'm kind of a cop. We're trying to start a police department.
There's a difference.
And I also, this is one of the biggest concerns. One of the biggest concerns, and I want to be careful what all information that I give here. It's very interesting when you hear keyboard warriors going at it, and you hear people say, "How'd you hear what he said?" He said, one thing they don't understand: we're dealing with a whole lot more information than they are. They have very limited information, and so there are some huge concerns. There's some realities out there where there are well-known, nationally known violent gangs that have a goal of infiltrating small town police departments. We know this stuff as a fact. This is
okay. So you said you know this as a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Other than the Aryan Brotherhood, what nationally known violent gang is trying to infiltrate the small town police department in Henry County?
As I said just earlier, you asked about Chris Martin, the state police officer, whether I trust him. Yes, I trust him. And so I'm simply relaying information from Chris Martin there.
Oh, okay. Which is basically about the Aryan Brotherhood, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. That Korey was a former member.
Didn't say anything about Korey.
I didn't say you did, but I'm just saying that you know through Chris Martin that Korey was a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, right?
That is what I understood. Yes.
Okay. As a matter of fact, he mentioned that he was a leader of there. He wasn't just a member. He was like a leader.
I don't know. The record would reflect. I can't remember that, but if that's what I said, that's what I said.
Well, okay.
It's not something that I'm just making up and trying to scare people. This happens. We know that people have wound up with badges who are hardened criminals. And when we go back to, how does a police department get started?
Okay. Now I want to go back to did you know that Korey was an officer in like town marshal in Grant County?
I did not know that. I know what you know that I know from the guy that I talked to up there. So Whether
Okay.
he was actual officer legitimately or not, I don't know that.
Okay. Do you know, are you a member of the Indiana Sheriff's Association?
I am.
Okay. Do you know that they had Korey Alwood as a guest speaker?
I surely wasn't there, so I don't know. I don't know that.
Okay. Do you have any picture of Korey Alwood?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Sheriff, have you told me everything that you did in regards to Korey Alwood in this case?
I've told you everything that I have recalled that I did. Yes, sir.
Okay. And everything that you said?
Yeah, that I recalled that I said. Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then have you mentioned all the people that you've talked to about this? Other, obviously, excluding your attorney because of attorney-client privilege, but have you?
I have
Go ahead.
mentioned all that that I recall that would pertain to this situation.
I was referring to all the people that you talked to about this. You mentioned
That's what I
essentially
was.
three.
That's what I was referring to.
Okay. And it's your position basically that there is back up a little bit. That there's not really any other emails except for what you've already provided in regards to the news.
As best as I can recall, or as best as I would know, that would be accurate.
Okay. And there's not any, from your office, there's not any investigation into Korey Alwood.
That is affirmative. That is correct. There never has been an investigation into Korey Alwood from my office.
From your office, yeah, okay.
Correct.
And one moment, please. Oh, the Indiana Sheriff's Association, do you consider them to be reputable?
I won't object to the relevance of the question, but you can answer.
I mean, I don't, when did Korey Alwood speak to the Indiana Sheriff's Association? I guess it'd be a valid question. I attend a lot of their things, but I did not know that he spoke at an Indiana Sheriff's Association meeting.
No, I know you've already answered that. My question now is, do you think that the Indiana Sheriff's Association is a reputable organization, law enforcement
I can
organization?
object to the relevance, but you can answer.
Yeah. I do, but I'm just, I guess I'm thrown on the fact that he spoke at a Indiana Sheriff Association meeting, and I would like to know when that took place and where, because I'm just not recalling that.
It was in Steuben County.
Yeah.
I want to say it was earlier this year. I don't have the exact date.
And it was an Indiana Sheriff's Association meeting.
Well,
we can ask in discovery, and they can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, apparently it's on your Facebook page, and it was with like a youth camp. I know that they probably, I don't know this for a fact. I'm assuming that the Indiana Sheriff's Association has multiple meetings or something, right?
They have
Since you're a
different
member?
meetings, yeah.
Okay,
You
yeah.
say this is on my Facebook page?
The Indiana Sheriff, it's on the Indiana Sheriff's Association, but it's on Korey's Facebook page. So I may have misspoke when I said on your Facebook page,
Yeah.
but my understanding is when you said you're a member of the Indiana Sheriff's Association, that would be on your Facebook page, or is that on your Facebook page? You being a member of the Indiana Sheriff's Association?
Not that I'm aware of. It could be, but
Okay.
I don't know of it.
Okay, but yeah, so I can get you the date, and I can give you the video too of him speaking there if you want it for verification, or you could obviously contact the Indiana Sheriff's Association, but it was in Steuben County, and it was on the Fort Wayne News. But anyway, you answered my question. You said that you thought the Indiana Sheriff's Association was a reputable organization, and with that, I don't have any more questions for you.
I've just got a couple follow-up questions just for clarity's sake. In the town marshal meeting, there was a statement about we have a picture. Did you show a picture during that meeting?
I did not.
And during the Boss Hog podcast, you were talking about a town that some people had gone to and tried to form a police department. And was that the same that was on the Wish TV news story?
Yeah, and it sounded like I think it was that he played a video there that was not of me. It was, I believe that was the town that they were themselves saying that somebody came and tried to start a police department. In fact, I believe it was Korey, and so I believe they're the ones that was putting that information out. That wasn't a video of me there.
So the people that were mentioned, were you aware of them prior to going on the Wish TV broadcast?
I don't believe that. I don't know. I can't say on the timing. So I don't want to interject on the timing there. I guess the record would show on what the timing was of those items.
And did you show a picture of anyone at during the Wish TV broadcast?
I did not.
Did you provide them with any videos or anything prior to that broadcast?
I did not.
I don't have any other questions for you.
Okay, I have a couple follow-ups. Sheriff, I believe you mentioned that there are two people that went to the town to try to start a police department. Correct?
I was just listening to that video that you played. It said that's what they indicated.
Okay. Did you ever mention that there were two people that were trying to go start a police department?
Not that I'm aware of.
And how long? Well, the interview you gave to Wish TV, they didn't play everything you said, right?
I'm not aware of whether they did or not.
I believe in one of your discovery responses, you said that there were two people that tried to start a
Well,
police
that video, I believe said those town board members, I believe they're the ones that said two people came in trying to start a town, a police department.
That's correct. And one of them was Korey. right?
Yeah, I, if I was aware of that, I forgot I could have been, but I guess I'm aware of it now.
And the other person, who was not Korey, did not have any criminal record.
I don't know. I assume you know who it was. I'm not sure that I know
Yeah.
who it was. I believe he's got
Okay.
one now, though. I believe he's
No,
one of your,
no,
I believe he's one of your clients.
no, not the person I'm referring to.
That's, like I said, it's just a lot of this stuff going on. It's just widespread, and that's why I was warning about it.
So widespread that you can't find anybody that fits the description you gave other than Korey Alwood.
I've never tried to find
Correct.
anybody. It's, as I have said, it's very, you just do some Google searching tonight and you'll read horror stories from little towns that found out their town marshal was a convicted felon and had spent time in jail or prison. So that's not uncommon.
All right. You have anything on that, Michael? Oh, can you hear me? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
I have no follow-up questions or anything else. Is that your last question?
The last question is, Sheriff, is there anything else that you would like to say that I did not ask? So when we go to trial, it won't be anything new. So
I'm going
anything
to
else you'd
object to the form of the question. He has answered the questions you've asked him.
Yeah, right.
Whether he has anything else he wants to say about the case, it's not.
So let me rephrase the question. Let me rephrase the question. Is there anything else involving the case that I have not asked you that you believe is important?
Not nothing that I have to say. It's interesting you refer to when we go to trial. That's an interesting statement from an attorney, but whatever.
Well, I mean,
that's what you said. I'm just going with what you said.
Yeah,
when we go to trial.
Yeah,
I didn't know what it said for trial.
Well, I believe we have a trial date. Isn't that correct, Michael? And
I think we might. I don't think the court has entered the case management order.
the case management order, yeah. So you're and then obviously if it can get worked out through a settlement, then that'd be great. But if not, I mean it's the trial. But I mean, but I'm not trying to speak it into existence.
Yeah, you're not doing coercion. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't want you to think that I'm being resistant to anything from your attorney.
I just listened to what you said.
Well, yeah, just like I was listening to you, and I just want to be clear that I'm not pushing for that. If if your attorney wants to do some negotiating, I'm there for that. But that's all for off record.
I certainly wouldn't do it during a recorded deposition, Mark.
That's right. So anyway, it sounds like you didn't have anything else to add. I'm going to stop the recording